Hey there, fabulous ladies. Welcome to Bring Back Your Pink, where we celebrate the fabulousness of midlife and beyond. I am Jen B, your host, your biggest fangirl and impact-driven entrepreneur living my biggest and boldest life, so you can too. Get ready to leave behind societal expectations and embrace a life filled with laughter, joy, and endless possibilities. So stand tall, turn up the volume, and let's dive into the world of living life in full color. Together, we'll rediscover the power of being unapologetically ourselves, and we will release our inner vibrancy, and together we will bring back our pink. Let's make every moment count, girls. Hello, ladies, and welcome to Bring Back Your Pink. I have a fabulous guest on today. I've known Beck for a number of years, and I've seen her transformation, and I'm so excited for her to be here with us today. So Rebecca Saunders stands as a beacon for driven women who seek to unapologetically carve out their unique path in life and business. For female entrepreneurs, she harnesses the power of individuality, turning distinct qualities into unmatched strengths. And Beck champions the act of celebrating every triumph and meticulously crafting both a dream life and a thriving business. But there is so much more than just business to Beck. After 25 years of wearing a wig through alopecia, she chose to unveil her true self to the world in 2020, embracing her authenticity and fully owning her distinctiveness. This journey of self-acceptance and harnessing her unique attributes is one of the reasons I've asked Beck on here today. But also, like myself, she's a huge advocate of celebrating life and living it in full color. Welcome, Beck. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me, my love. I love that the end of that was in full color and I'm wearing a black shirt. That didn't really nail that for me, did it?
Well, you have a pink wall behind you. So, that's all right.
No, I
black and the
love
pink
it.
works perfectly together. But,
yes.
It's funny because people often say to me, but I love to wear black. And I'm like, you know what? It's actually not. When I say about living in full color, it's not even wearing the color. It's just being the color. So
being bright, shiny, fabulous.
Exactly. So as I said, welcome. I am so happy that you are here today. And
thank you.
Question number one. You have positioned yourself as a beacon for driven women, which you are. You are one of the most driven women that I know. What inspired this mission to help women carve out their own unique paths? And I love the fact that you so embrace, being who you were meant to be, being yourself and being unique. But what actually drove you
to doing it?
Look,
I think for me, doing a lot of the personal work to being okay with who I am was part and parcel of going, wow, the power in which you have when you can really own who you are and be who you are is phenomenal. So that journey was such a pivotal thing for me to go, look at the energy that comes out of that. When you're able just to get up and show up as you and not have to worry about, have I worn the right thing? Have I done my hair the right way? Have I got this in the right fashion or whatever? All those questions are just taking up such valuable energy space and headspace and, all those things. That was one of the things that I thought, I can help more people with this. Actually just learn to do it their way, make it work for them, do it to their own beat and have fun doing it. Because actually it is kind of fun doing it in your own way. As scary as it is sometimes, it's a hell of a lot of fun.
And it's so liberating, isn't it? Since I've got away from the trying to be who I should be, and can you all hear the question, the quotations I've just put around that, I have so much more fun with my business, with my life. It is super liberating. And that's why I so wanted you to come on here, because I know your story is so amazing. And I just thought, you are a bit younger than my audience, but what I do love too is that your age, you have embraced who you are. And, if somebody younger is listening, I'm like, don't wait till you hit your bloody 40s or 50s to figure out who you are. Do it in your 30s when when you've still got so much of your wonderful life left to live. So your journey with alopecia and the decision to stop wearing a wig, and I first met you
Mm.
when you were wearing a wig, is
Yeah.
deeply personal. What was the turning point? Like what made you take that bold step?
So again, long time coming, right? Long time working it
Yeah,
through. But
25 years.
um 25 years, but very much more a probably 8 years of, oh no, 7 years of conscious work. So if I think back to when I moved to Australia in 2012, and I didn't know anybody, right? So I just threw myself into building a business, making friends, doing things. And so I count myself very fortunate that I did that, because I managed to craft the family that I get to choose, right? You get to friends,
Yep.
you choose your friends, choose the colleagues that I worked with. And I didn't have any preconceived people around me that had preconceived understanding of how I've been or what I should be doing. And, having known the previous version of Rebecca before she went, bugger it, I'm going to Australia and I'm going to go build a business and live over there and it's going to be great. And so I think in choosing and crafting the friends and family that I spent time with, I was around people that were intentionally living their life in a different way, like intentionally doing things on their terms and building businesses to support their lifestyle and their family, and not just building businesses for the sake of building it or doing it in traditional ways, because that's how it's always been done. And so I've always, for the last 10 years, been surrounded by people like that who have gone, we can go, well, if you can dream it, you can make it, right? If you can think about it, you can create it. So I had all of that around me. And in one of my mentoring sessions, one of my colleagues within that sort of 8 to 10 people group, she said to me, hey, Beck, when you just start owning the fact that you have alopecia in all your glory and take your wig off, your business will skyrocket. It will be amazing. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, not ready. Don't go there anymore. I'm done. And again, more personal work. And over those years, I developed confidence. I'm going to say the confidence and courage to not wear my wig at home. So I was wearing wigs and doing makeup like at home, even if I wasn't going out anywhere, just in case someone popped over. So confidence not to wear wigs at home, then confident for friends to come over and me not have wigs on at home, and then confident to go out for a walk, with an active wear without my wig, but with a cap on. And so it was little stages that led up to me going to a couple of big female conferences halfway through COVID and being around all that energy of, well, I have this issue, but it doesn't matter, because that person over there is like kicking their goals and nailing it and smashing it and getting over whatever hiccup that they had. And we left those conferences, and we went back down into lockdown, and masks were mandatory again. And so all this screen time, I was wearing my glasses more, I had masks on and my wig on, and it was the height of Australian summer, which, as you and I both know, and many of your listeners will know, it's hot, right? And so something just clicked in me and went, it's now or never. Like, it's now or never. And so I just decided that I wasn't going to wear wigs anymore in a public forum. And what I mean by public forum for me at the time was doing my business. So I was already pretty comfortable around friends and family, but doing my business. And so I had a photo shoot done, and overnight, pretty much all my socials, all my websites, everything as, okay, this is it. This is me. This is what I am. Let's go.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So when you said, like, you were doing like internal work, and how did you go about that? Like, what sort of, like, I know for me, when I was getting over the suggestive language that had literally steered the direction of my life, I did hypnotherapy, EFT, those were the things that helped really well in getting my confidence back to actually become who I am, was meant to be. What sort of techniques did you use?
So I didn't go down the hypnotherapy route. I definitely worked with a personal coach on a spiritual level, and then understanding, just getting in tune with who you are and what you want to do and getting the energies right. A little bit of EFT and sort of tapping towards the end, which I occasionally do still use now as techniques.
Yeah, so do I.
But it was at the time, and I'm sure it was with you, and you go through it when someone starts a journey, you got to take everyone around your closest people on the journey with you, because otherwise they look at you like you're a little bit woo-woo.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, but maybe I am, but what if it works? And so I love that. I've just, those techniques, and just, again, it's being around the right people.
Oh, look, it's so
Putting yourself in the room with the right people.
100%. I know myself, I would never be who I am right now if I hadn't surrounded myself with amazing women like yourself, that lift you up and encourage you to be, the best that you can be and to be yourself. And it is so important to surround yourself with the right people, because community is everything. It is so important. In the world of I was going to say the world of entrepreneurship, but also I feel like in the world of employment as well. Why do you believe that being an individual and, standing out plays such a pivotal role in success?
I think if you look at any of the, successful companies, organizations, businesses, it's always been someone who's just done it a bit differently, that's looked at something a bit different, that's done it a bit differently, and most importantly has had the courage to stand up and do it differently and say it out loud, and go out there and walk to their own beat. And so I'm a huge advocate for it, because magic happens. Like, magic actually happens when you can go out there, be yourself, stand up for what you want to stand up for, talk about what you want to talk about, and not feel like you should or shouldn't. I really don't like using that word in any of my language. You should do this. Well,
yeah, no,
I could.
It's out of my.
I could do it. So, so it's one of those things that I think if you can look at things differently, that is where the magic happens, within breakthroughs of business, of medicine, of life, of entrepreneurship. Just doing things slightly differently is a win, right? As far as I'm concerned. It might not feel like it at the time. It might feel really scary, or it might not feel right at the very beginning of the journey, but definitely doing it in a different way will get different results, right? So if you want to do something differently and get something different, or live life different, or run a business that's going to have more impact, you've got to do it in a different way to what other people are doing.
100%. And I'm going to say two quotes here, because I had one, one of my favorites, but like, let's be honest, great things never come from comfort zones, do they? And we all want to sit in our comfort zones, and we all want to stay in our comfort zones, but the great things don't come from them. Nope. But a quote from one of my favorite authors, and I still read his books now as an adult, Dr. Seuss. Why fit in when you were born to stand out?
Oh, love that. Love Dr.
I know.
Seuss.
I love Dr. Seuss. I have some of his books in my office. I have some of his artworks on my wall. Yeah. I just, as an illustrator myself too, he was a visionary, that man. Anyway, I digress. But I love him. So a lot of what you do is about celebrating, and I love that, because I'm all about celebrating. But so many people shy away from celebrating the little wins. Yeah. I know, and even the little wins, like, I think we need to celebrate everything. I mean, the fact that we're alive is a celebration, but what's the significance of celebrating every triumph in business and life? I mean, how does it make you feel? I know how it makes me feel, but
yeah. See, I don't know if I have to celebrate everything to that point, but definitely the micro elements, the like macro ones and the really big ones, like to celebrate them in different levels. I think we work so damn hard as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as women in our families, that actually we never stop to go, oh, look what I just did. We constantly go, oh, look where I've got to go. Like, how much more have I got to do? And so we never actually sit and acknowledge that we nailed those goals. Mm-hmm. That goal that we've just gone past, we've already set 3 more. We've already set more that we're going for. And so it is so important just to sit and acknowledge those, and do it in a way that makes you actually sit and pause for a moment and go, I did that. Like, hell yeah, I did that. I nailed that. That was amazing. I've had that on my vision board, or on the list of things that I've wanted to achieve for ages. I just did it. How cool is that? Which again is one of those things that you need that tribe around you, right? You need that tribe or that family unit that you've got at home that will go, hell yeah, babe, ring that bell. Like, why not? Like, let's do it. Like, you've smashed that target. Or I don't mind that you've filled a whole row of the fridge with champagne and Post-it notes, because if that's the way you're going to make your goals happen, I'm all on board with it. So I think it's so important, because we are in such a busy world that everything needs to be instantaneous, that we actually really forget how long it takes us to get there sometimes. And we fail to acknowledge the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears along the way, that we really should go, nailed that. Good job. Nailed it.
See, because I have to say, I also like to celebrate even the little things, like, you know, the challenges that you set for yourself. Like for you, it would be taking your wig off. For me, you know, it would be pitching myself to talk at a conference. The time that I got into my swimsuit in Hawaii, you know, I hadn't been in a swimsuit for 15 years until the October, got on that boat in Hawaii in front of people that I didn't know. And like, I got off and I celebrated. Like I said, I came out of the water, I said to my husband, I did it, you know. So just for me, those little celebrations of the challenges that you set for yourself too are so important. So I just love to celebrate everything, because, you know.
Well, yeah, we overcome these challenges, right?
Yes,
we have to psych ourselves up to do them, and it's worthy of celebration.
Exactly. But I'm going to lead actually into a bit of business thing now, because, you know, you have a fabulous community called the Champagne Lounge. Yeah. Now, tell us more about it. You know, what sparked the idea, and what are you aiming to actually achieve with it?
So the Champagne Lounge is a very simple concept when I started it, and it still is a simple concept. It is about connecting like-minded female business owners who want to meet like-minded people, grow their network, and celebrate life and business wins, big and small. And the premise of it came from the fact that quite often running our own show, we're lonely. Like, we are so, even if we're in a community that of school mums, or in a community of course creators, or in a community of business mastermind, you know, there's never actually that one space, or there isn't that one space that kind of covers all of it. You know, that if you've got a question about X and you're in the community that you're learning Y, well, where do you talk about X? You know, where do you talk about that? And how can you celebrate little things if all these people over here to, you know, in the Y community don't really understand how you do that? And so for me, the premise was about connecting people virtually in a way that they could do it from the comfort and safety of their own home, on the couch, by the pool, you know, wherever they were in the world. And they could tap into a network of women that were just like them, that just wanted an outlet sometimes just to chat and high five and cheer each other on, but equally wanted to jump in sometimes and go, got this problem. Does anyone know how to solve it? You know, or has anyone had this thing? And so the Champagne Lounge was born out of that, out of being able to have somewhere full of women that just get it. They don't judge it. They're there if they know it's there when they need it. They don't have to be a part of it all the time if they don't want to be. And so it was all around making connection and conversation and celebration easy, accessible. And that's why there's no agendas. We have no agendas. We have no set contracts. There's no masterminds. There's no masterclasses. There's no 1, 2, 3 step plan. And there's no way that you can feel like you're falling behind. And I think that was one of the big things I wanted to create for women, is we don't need another bloody to-do list. Yeah, we don't need something else to like add to our overwhelm. And so that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and it's just fun. I mean, I'm a member, so, you know, it is just fun. So, you know, it is a really nice place to connect and just chat. And, you know, I think that's something that we forget to do, because, yeah, we're always so busy going from here to here to here to here to here, just to stop and listen to others, you know, because listening is an art that's kind of forgotten as well. Like, to stop and be able to listen to others and listen to them talk and celebrate for them is really epic. I also want to call out your Business Uncorked dinner series. That's not really what this chat's about, but I did want to call this out because, one, I've been to one and it was amazing. And it's just a really like intimate, transformative, you know, beautiful night. Have you got a memorable moment or story that's come from one of these dinners?
I think for me, there's memorable moments in all of the dinners. So for context, for, you know, everyone listening, the dinners really came out of my need for physical human interaction. So it's all very well in building a virtual space for us all to connect virtually from wherever we are in the globe. Still doesn't replace fully the closeness you actually need sometimes with real life and real people. And so I had this crazy idea that I would open my home once a month-ish. There was no real, no real agenda to it, just when I fancied it. Open my home and I would open my dining table to 8 businesswomen, whether I knew them or not, And I advertised it as, this is what I'm doing. Come to dinner, safe place, meet new people. So essentially arrive as strangers and leave as friends. And I love that when I run them in Sydney, they are female business owners who I have met along my way in my last decade of business.
Mm-hmm.
And only a handful of times have people around the table known each other, which has been really interesting. It's lovely to see them all to connect and build those friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And in Mudgee, I actually posted it in the community group of what I was doing. And 3 women came to dinner who had been in town for a long time and hadn't met any fellow business owners, because their businesses mean that they work from home or they work in a shop by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the magical moments there are, everyone needs connection at
100%.
some point. They need a safe space to feel connected, to be able to share their emotions and share their feelings and be in a space that people get them and there's no judgment there. And so to be able to create that in person around my dining table, as well as being able to create that on a larger scale through the Champagne Lounge, I can't quite tell you how I'm pulling it off, but the magic there is serious. Like it's fabulous.
It really is, because I have been to a Business Uncorked, and the topics we went from, like we'd be talking business, and we'd be talking personal, then we'd be back to business, and we'd be talking personal. And I was really non-judgmental zone, and
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. And I'm looking forward to the next one. That I haven't looked at the next dates yet, but I'm totally looking forward to the next one that I can come to. But I just wanted to stop and have a chat about your business, because I love both of them so much. And I mean, I know you have other facets as well, but, when we're talking about community and support and, self-acceptance, these are 2 businesses that are so great for allowing people to just be themselves. And I think that's a really lovely thing that you've created. But how has embracing your authenticity impacted the way you interact now with and guide your clients?
I think for me, I have a very, this is what you see, this is what you get type situation, right? So I feel that in showing up as who I am, being my authentic self and speaking my mind and telling it how it is or how I see it, enables and almost qualifies my clients and the people around me to go, oh, well, if she can do it and it's working for her, why can't I? And I consciously and continuously tell people to do it their way and not look to others to try and be like me or be like you. We are our own individuals. We've found our own craft. We've worked really hard at unleashing the women that we are today. And you've just got to find that way of unleashing you, because it's a superpower. And so all of my work is around embracing your uniqueness and turning that, your uniqueness, not mine, yours, into your superpower. Because once you found it and you harness it and you let it out, force to be reckoned with.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And it is so beautiful that as we are so, I guess, confident in ourselves now, that we are able to share that with our clients. I mean, I say my ladies because I generally only work with females, which is mostly what you do, but to be able to share it with them and to encourage them to go on and be, the best that they can be and have, fall in love with their businesses and, celebrate life. It's a blessing, really, that we are able to do this. We're so lucky.
Very much so.
But self-acceptance is a journey. So, you talked about, the 7 to 8 year kind of period. Was there a pivotal moment that just pushed you towards embracing who you are and your distinctiveness?
No, not really, other than what I spoke about earlier in terms of that tipping point for me was that lockdown period where something's got to give because it's not working. But no, I would say all just little moments made it easier and better. So, just doing little things. So in my own home, out and about, out with friends, out meeting people, then in front of clients, now in front of the world. And so I believe that these things do take time because you can't rush them.
They do.
If you rush them, then you're taking one step forward to take 2 steps back, and no one wants to do that. And so there is no magic formula for anybody. It's about just slowly chipping away at it, wiping away at it, getting more confident, being around, again, the right people that will go, but this is how I see you. But this is how I see you. Like, can you just acknowledge that of how I see you? And so you're like, oh, and if you start doing that and doing those mantras and writing down those notes to yourself, I don't know if you did this. I definitely write little love notes to myself on the mirror to be like, you look fabulous today. Those little things, while, you know, some people might go, that is a little bit crazy. I don't care. I'm going to harness my crazy and I'm going to do whatever it is that makes me feel good to make me show up as my best person today. And I think if you can harness that attitude and find that attitude inside you, you're kind of unshakable. You know, it's that you got to just find that inner confidence that this is who I am, and you're either going to love it or you hate it. Go back to my Marmite analogy from the UK. You're going to love it or you're going to hate it.
I always say one of my favorites is, you know, you might not be everyone's cup of tea, but you're sure as heck someone's shot of vodka. I love that saying. But, you know, actually going into something you were just saying about our perception of ourselves, so often our perceptions are so harsh of ourselves. And it does take someone else. I'll never forget, I was in a mastermind and it was a retreat, and it was a virtual retreat. And all of the girls that were there, we had to say what we thought about a certain person, you know, about that person. So we did it for everyone. And when it got to me, I actually cried. You know, that was another big step in my healing journey, because the way they saw me was so different to the way I saw myself. And that was a, like, you know, door breaking down the door moment for me. It was like, well, hang on a second. Yeah, they see me like this. I see me like this. You know, they're all seeing me like this. I'm the only one seeing me like this. So hang on, who's got the problem here?
It makes such a difference, right? Such a difference.
Yeah.
To have it shown up in the mirror of how other people see you.
Yeah. Yes, it was a very defining moment, that.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give someone who is, you know, struggling to step into themselves, you know, step into being the unique person that they are and embracing that?
What advice? I would say, as frustrating as this is going to be, take your time. As I said, it does need to be right. So take your time and do it at your pace. Just because other people are moving faster around you doesn't mean that you're falling behind or not doing it right. So do it at your pace and find one, two, half a dozen. There's no magic number, but people that you can talk to and confide in, who, when you are at that point of being able to step out into the world, you know that you've got that cheer squad, like the ride or die ones, the ones that are going to be there regardless. So they're the two things. Go at your pace and find your ride or die squad.
Yeah. And I would add another in to say, just be kind to yourself as well. Like some days you are not going to feel like sunshine. And that is okay. That is okay, isn't it? Like some days you do, the self-doubts come back. You know, we just need to figure out the triggers that have put them back in there and work around them and move forward, because we know life is not just a straight road. Life has its curves and bumps, and sometimes we have to turn left and we have to turn right. And, you know, that's a really good thing to remember, because we all get impatient. We're like, I want the change to happen now. Yeah, time is so important. Celebration. I want you to tell a celebration story, because, you know, it's such an important part of your messaging. And I do know how you define and indulge in your celebrations, but I want you to share with all the ladies, because I love this so much.
So my biggest way to celebrate each and every year, I say year because now this is what I do, but it's always been at least a bottle. I always buy a case of champagne, my favorite champagne. My favorite for the purposes of this activity is Verve. Just enjoy it. I love everything about the brand and the history of the brand and the taste of the bubbles. So I buy a case of champagne, and I make sure the champagne is in individual boxes. So that thing's important. I think it's important. Other people have questioned it, but I think it's important to have them in boxes, because then I write on my 6 Post-it notes 6 goals that I'm going to have for that year. And those goals can be personal goals and professional goals, or they could just be professional. They're a mixture of sometimes revenue and sometimes like tactical or more tangible goals in terms of like maybe membership numbers instead of revenue goals. But there's always a variety of different goals that I've got for me and the business. And then I stick those Post-it notes on the top of the boxes and I lie all the boxes down in the fridge. And so every morning or every time I go to the fridge, because let's be honest, we all go to the fridge way too many times when we're working from home. And every time I open the fridge, I'm reminded of my goals for the year. And every time I win a goal, nail a goal, smash the goal, the champagne is already cold in the fridge. So I can just go to the fridge and open the champagne and celebrate the fact that, hell yeah, you did that. You nailed that. Good job.
I love it. I love that. I've heard this story many a time, but I love it so much. Beck is actually one of my branding clients as well. So when I was writing her story, I know the story intimately, but it's such an inspiring story. And I love the way that Beck, weaves the celebration and the empowerment into everything she does. So that's why I really wanted that story to be told. So, as an advocate for, vibrant, positive living, there are days where we struggle. How do you maintain your energy levels through those challenging times? Because sometimes it's very easy to let them dip down.
Oh, this is an interesting one. So I guess I look at it one of two ways. If something has hit hard and something's gone dramatically wrong, or whether or not it's that and something's stuffed up, or whether it's like a hard thing and it's just not working the way I want it to work, I let the feelings happen. So if I want to just sit and cry my eyes out, I'll sit and cry my eyes out. And that's fine, because the more you bottle that stuff in, the more it just festers and destroys it, you're energetically on the inside. So I'm a big believer of letting the feelings out and sitting in it and letting them just percolate and sit there. So I will never force myself to sit at my desk if I'm not feeling it. Like if I'm feeling it, I'm all in. But if I'm pushing it to create something and I'm coming up against a block, it's just my head's going, something's not right here, I give myself permission to walk away and do something else. So the two things there that I would say would be my recommendations is those feelings are going to happen. No one's immune to those, right? It's always going to come up. Something's going to go wrong. Someone's going to question your business decision, or in a safe environment, you've shared something and you're being challenged on it. And all of a sudden you're like, what have I done? And why have I built it this way? And everything's crumbling. That's a fleeting moment. It's a feeling. It's feelings are feelings. They're not facts. And so give yourself time to feel the feelings, cry it out, shout it out, dance it out, whatever you want to do. And then move on with it. Don't wallow in it. I think even last week, I had a moment where I literally got home with my girlfriend and I went, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Like, nothing's working. Look, this is ridiculous. And she goes, I've had a crap day too. Should we just drink wine and like cry about it? I'm like, yeah,
I love that.
Actually, that's all I needed to do. I just needed to sit, cry, watch a movie that made me cry more. And then the next morning, right, up we go. Let's go again. So you got to feel it. No one's immune to it. Even some of the most successful people in the world still have those down days.
Well, the thing is, we're not robots, are we?
No.
We're not robots. We have feelings. And to actually let's be honest, there's nothing as cathartic as a darn good cry.
I love a good cry.
Feel really bad afterwards, but you feel better.
Yeah.
So from your journey, what would you think is the most important lesson or message that you would like the women listening today to take away and, perhaps try and implement themselves, or at least remember?
I think one of the most important things, look, I'm going to have two. I've got to have two.
Of course.
One of them is you're your own unique soul. So walk to your own beat and hold your head up high, like is really number one. Do it your way, and provided you're doing, whatever you're doing in a respectful way to others. Let's just caveat what we've just been talking about right now. You don't want to be doing something horrible or, terrible to other people. But if you're doing something that's affecting you and you only, and it makes you happy, just do it. Find the joy. And on the note of finding the joy, one of the things that I like to get people to think about is what's going to make you feel like a VIP in your own world. What are those little touches that you can do each day that make you feel special? Is it wearing that matching set of underwear that you only keep for special occasions? Why? You like wearing it, wear it. Or you've got that candle that you only, they got gifted by someone and you've never lit it. Light the candle, enjoy the candle, or buy that cup of coffee. You know, it's life is just too short to not find something special in your day that makes you feel $1 million. And those things don't have to cost a lot of money. So what's going to make you feel special today? And what, you know, how can you do it your way so that you feel like you're embracing who you are?
I love that. And just like when you were saying, like, light the candle, wear the nice lingerie, buy the cup of coffee. I also say, drink the French champagne and wear the glitter eyeshadow.
Wear the glitter, use the fine china, you know,
yes,
just all
do
that
all
stuff.
of the things that are going to make you feel better.
Yeah.
You know, you've walked the most amazing path, Beck, you know, of self-discovery, business growth, and community building. Tell me, you know, as we finish up today, what is next for you?
Oh, this is an interesting one. So next year, if I look at next year, the Champagne Lounge is going to get bigger and better and have many different events, including an awesome one for International Women's Day here in Mudgee. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I've got, well, I hope so. It's going to be fab. Networking nights and just do it a little bit more virtual and in person. I'm very excited for that. And then I'm sure 2025, there's a book in me somewhere. I'm sure of it.
Yes. Yes, even I was actually thinking, oh, you know, a few people have said to me, there's a book in you. I'm like, oh, I don't think so. And then you just started thinking about it, like maybe there is. Maybe there is. But you're an absolute inspiration, Beck. I feel very privileged that you're in my life and that I've got to know you. So thank you.
Back at you, my love. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. As I said, I so wanted to share your journey because, you know, as somebody that could actually probably be your mum, you know, I'm just so proud of how you've embraced yourself. And it makes me so happy to see someone that is a younger age, like really actually just going all out on who they are, who they want to be and who they were meant to be. So thank you for coming on. I'm sure you'll be a super inspiration to everyone that's listening. Now, where can people find you?
So find me online at RebeccaSaunders.com. Or my happy place, as you get me real time, is on Instagram at the Rebecca Saunders.
And I will put all these in the show notes, ladies, so you can go and give Beck some love, as I'm sure you will want to. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And remember, girls, stay vibrant because life is too short to not live it in full color. Until next time, I shall see you later. Bye. Hey, ladies, I created this podcast because I know we need more of it to help us bring back our pink and live our best lives. But guess what? We can't do this alone. So if you loved this episode, let's spread the word. Share it on your socials, send it to a friend, and don't forget to write us a review. By doing this, you become part of the movement to bring back your pink and inspire others to do the same. I'm incredibly grateful to have you in my world as we live life in full color and become our authentic selves. Together, we're unstoppable. Let's keep rocking and bringing back the pink.